Hey guys, how you doing? I know it's been a minute. I'm coming on here because I have a serious prophetic dream that I want to share. And this was a dream. I had it last night. This was a dream. I was supposed to get up on a plane to go to Florida. And it was me and two other people who were supposed to get on this plane. I was in the car with someone driving to get on the plane. When I looked at the time in the car, it was 10 a.m. The plane was supposed to take off at 12 p.m. For some reason, I wound up not getting on the plane. Okay, so the other two people got on the plane. Now I had knowledge that it was two planes. There were two American Airlines planes and one jet. So the scene changes. And I'm outside and I'm looking at the sky and there's a lot of things flying in the sky, okay? I'm not quite sure what the other things in the sky were. But I see an American Airlines plane, commercial plane, and then I saw a missile hit it. I knew that a missile hit it and the plane like breaks in half and explodes and you can see it like the tail end of the plane breaking in half and coming down. Now I knew in the dream that two American Airlines commercial planes were hit and a jet. Okay, this dream I had last night. I'm gonna take it back to November of last year. November of last year, I had a dream where I was getting on a flight to go to Florida again, and my seat number was C4. What does C4 mean? C4 means is another word for an explosive. Also, that scene changed in that dream, and I was looking at an airplane in the sky, and it was acting weird as if it was going to crash. So why am I sharing this dream? Because I believe that if we don't pray against this, this will happen. Why do I believe this? Why do I believe that this is literal and not symbolic? It's because about a few weeks ago, probably a month ago now, a few weeks ago, Amanda Grace, she's a prophet of the Lord. If you watch her words, many of her words have already came to pass, like that. And she had a dream where she seen an American Airlines plane taking off. And as it took off, a missile was coming to hit it. I will leave that link in the description box below so you can go and watch the prophetic dream that she had. Clearly, God is trying to tell us that another attack they're planning on doing. So hopefully this is not something that has to happen. Hopefully this is something that we can pray against. So I'm calling everybody who watches this video to pray against another attack on American Airlines.
And listening right now to WTTG, we're now taking over to show you this. This is video from the Kennedy Center camera, and you see that explosion right there. That is the moment when this small plane apparently crashed into a helicopter. You see a fireball, and then, Marla, we see that plane head down towards the Potomac River.
Oh, what an image there. And according to our sister station in D.C., WTTG, that in fact is confirmed that a small aircraft collided with a helicopter. They were hearing that it is not a D.C. police helicopter, and colleagues on the ground say that several people were saying that it was a military helicopter. That information is not confirmed, but according to our sister station in D.C., Fox 5 there, they have confirmed that it is a helicopter and a small aircraft that has collided. Again, this is courtesy of the Kennedy Center, the moment of impact.
Yeah. How did an American Airlines plane and a Black Hawk helicopter end up in a tragic crash while the plane was attempting to land on runway 33? In the videos ahead, we'll take a closer look at the final hours leading up to the crash, the confusion between the PAT-25 VIP military helicopter and the air traffic controller, and how the rescue operation is being carried out. More details all in the video ahead. The plane had departed from Wichita Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport in Kansas earlier that evening. A PSA Airlines aircraft, operated under American Airlines and identified as Flight AA5342, collided midair with a military Black Hawk helicopter at approximately 9 p.m. on Wednesday, January 29, 2025. The tragic incident occurred as the plane was making its final approach toward Reagan Washington National Airport in Arlington, Virginia. American Airlines confirmed that 64 people were aboard the jet, 60 passengers and 4 crew members, while 3 soldiers were aboard the military helicopter. This plane's radio transponder stopped transmitting about 2,400 feet, which is around 730 meters short of the runway, roughly over the middle of the river. This has marked the first major U.S. commercial crash in more than 15 years. From an aerial perspective, it is evident that Flight AA5342 was approaching the airport from the south, descending over the scenic Potomac River. This area is known for its proximity to several iconic landmarks, such as the Pentagon, located nearby in Pentagon City. To the north, one can spot the striking dome of the United States Capitol building, a symbol of American democracy. The Potomac River, which encircles the airport and much of Arlington, serves as a natural boundary and offers breathtaking views for arriving flights. However, this area is also densely trafficked, both by air and on the ground, adding to the complexity of air traffic management in the region. American Airlines Flight 5342, which we'll refer to as the landing flight, was on its final approach to runway 33. At this stage, called short final, the aircraft was mere moments from landing, flying at an altitude of about 400 feet. This is the most critical phase of landing, where every second counts and pilots are laser focused on safely bringing the plane down. At the same time, an Army Black Hawk helicopter, identified as PAT-25, was reportedly on a possible training flight. It was flying perpendicular to the flight path of Flight 5342, following the course of the Potomac River. The Potomac River is a designated flight corridor for helicopters, and it's common to see aircraft like this operating in the area. The key difference between the two aircraft in this scenario was their operating rules. The Black Hawk helicopter PAC-25 was flying under visual flight rules. This means it was required to rely on visual observation of its surroundings to avoid other aircraft. The landing flight 5342 was operating under instrument flight rules, which give it priority over VFR flights in controlled airspace. This system assumes that VFR aircraft will actively maintain visual separation to avoid conflicts. Moments before the collision, the air traffic control tower at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport called PAC-25 to confirm whether they had the other aircraft in sight. PAC-25 responded that they did. At first glance, this seems like an acknowledgement that they were aware of Flight 5342's presence and were taking steps to avoid it. However, it now seems likely that PAC-25 had mistakenly identified a different aircraft, possibly a departing flight from the same airport, and believed that was the other aircraft referred to by the tower. Tragically, PAC-25 may not have realized that Flight 5342 was descending directly into its path. This misidentification could have led to the Black Hawk failing to adjust its course in time to avoid a collision. Although I'm not a pilot, this is what appears to have happened based on the available information. It's a heartbreaking incident that raises questions about how such misunderstandings can occur and what safety measures can prevent them in the future.
This is where this is going to start to get deep. So, once again, with a tragedy, in the past 2 months, we see a common thread that the date of the tragedy equals 9/11. And I'm going to show you how. Okay, you have 1/29/2025, right? 2 plus 9 is 1, right? Well, it's 11, actually. 2 plus 9 is 11. So there's your 11. Then 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. 9/11. So the date of the plane crash, once again, equals 9/11. The 2 plus 9 is 11, and then 2 plus 2 plus 5 with 2025 equals 9, 9/11. So once again, we see this common thread of this in the plane crash, and I'm going to show you also how this connects to other things that are going on and that have happened. Now, what's even stranger is that the Winter Olympics were set to happen in Los Angeles in 2028, and a bunch of figure skaters, some of them Russian, I believe, were on this plane coming back from a major competition. So that in itself is something to take note of. Also, the plane was called an American Eagle. So it was American Airlines, and the plane itself was named an American Eagle, which became a crashing eagle. So you have Reagan International Airport, you have Reagan, crashing eagle, 911. Think about that. Reagan, crashing eagle, 911. And you have Reagan that was also sworn in inside 40 years ago, and Donald Trump 40 years later is sworn in to be president inside. 40 has to do with testing and judgment as well. It rained 40 days and 40 nights in the book of Genesis with Noah. Jesus faced off against Satan himself in the wilderness after fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. Now, this has been the first major commercial airlines crash since 2009. That would be 16 years ago. And it was on 1/6, Donald Trump was certified as the president of the United States of America. So this has been no, that's not right. Hold on. 16 is in here somewhere, but this was, no, that's correct, 16 years ago. Okay, so I did get that right. So 2009 was the last major, it's the first major commercial airline crash since 2009. That would be a 16-year time period separating 2025 from 2009, and it was 1/6 that Donald Trump was certified. So the certification happened on January 6th, and also it was the 4-year anniversary of January 6th when he was certified. Also, American Airlines was involved in 9/11, which happened in 2001, which was 24 years ago. So this is all connected. Now I'm going to go right to Hosea. I think we're going to skip the screen. We're going to skip the screenshot about this, because I will just tell you there's something floating around about CNN doing something funny with this, with the news story with this. So there is something floating around with that. But if we go to Hosea, chapter 8, verses 1 through 3, it says, "Set the trumpet to your mouth. He shall come like an eagle against the house of the Lord, because they have transgressed my covenant and rebelled against my law. Israel will cry to me, my God, we know you. Israel has rejected the good. The enemy will pursue him." So just remember that. We're going to come back to Hosea chapter 8. But just remember that as we go forth in this, because that's going to come to be very important in this later on. Now, February, we have a few clips here to show you too throughout the night. So we have 2 clips to show you, one after the other. February 7th, 2021, I had prophesied from the Lord a very large scandal with a major airline. And then the May 4th, 2021 clip is the dream I had of American Airlines 4 years ago. So we're going to play, our team will cue it up. We're going to play these 2 clips for you now, probably back to back. So February 7th, 2021 is the word of the Lord. And then May 4th, 2021 is me talking about the dream. "And the Spirit of the Lord says this day, a major scandal with an airline shall break forth in the midst that will be even more unsettling to the people. And they shall gather in the streets and make their feelings known, as the Congress shall lose control of the people. As we, the people, that's capital, shall be echoed in this hour." There was one night I was really having a bit of a hard time, and the Lord put me into a deep sleep. And when I went into this deep sleep, the next thing I know is that I'm standing on an undisclosed launch pad site. To my right is an enormous hedge of trees, okay? The sky was unusually blue. Next thing I know comes over the hedge of trees, okay, so from my right, an American Airlines Boeing 747, like the big ones, the huge commercial liners that are passenger liners. And it was American Airlines because I could see the writing on the side, and it was American Airlines plane. They have a very distinct look. So this plane is beginning to make its ascent into the air. And what happens is, as the plane is making its ascent, appears hovering in front of me and Dave, above our heads, is like a 30-foot tall, enormous green missile. Dark green. No distinct markings from a country. It definitely wasn't an American missile, that I can tell you. But no other distinct markings that would give credence to one country over another. And so this missile is hovering there. And when the American Airlines plane goes to make its ascent, this missile, excuse me, begins to climb at a 90-degree angle after this plane. And when it starts to make its climb, now keep in mind, normally when missiles take off, they're like rockets and there's some fire that comes out the bottom of them. There was no fire coming out the bottom of this missile. But it begins to make a 90-degree climb after this plane. And I woke up. Okay, so that is from Well, both are from 4 years ago, pretty much. February 7th, 2021, which was a major scandal with an airline shall break forth in the mist that will be even more unsettling to the people. Okay, so that was February 7th. And then the May 4th clip, when I was put into this deep sleep and this launch pad was there, this plane was flying overhead, right? So the missile was waiting for the plane to come overhead. Now, the missile was green. Now, I'm no expert on missiles. I wasn't sure if this was an American missile or not. It was all green. So obviously, it did have to do with the military, but the plane's coming over and they were waiting for the plane to come to the right location. And then this missile was launched right at this American Airlines passenger plane to try and destroy it. Now, I find that interesting. I have this 4 years ago, and this American Airlines plane approaching Reagan of all airports has a collision with a Black Hawk helicopter, which is military. So I'm going to pray some more on this dream because it was because I also said it was about 30 foot tall. Like the missile, it was very large. Its launch pad was very large. It was just it was towering over me, and so it was gunning for this. It was gunning for American Airlines. It was gunning for an American Airlines passenger plane. And this I saw 4 years ago in a very deep sleep that the Lord had put me in.
This is what the Lord keeps telling us, that everything is not how it appears to be. As soon as I saw this incident, it did not make sense to me the way it blew up. Do you believe that it is just what you see? And a military jet collided with a commercial American Airlines plane? Or do you believe what the Lord showed me and Amanda Grace 4 years ago, both in dreams? And a few months ago, I shared with you guys the dream about airplanes being blown up in the sky and airplanes falling out of the sky. Though the word tarries, it surely comes to pass. But will you pray against it? And will your prayers lessen the effects of it? Now, I seen 2 American Airline planes and a jet. And I had multiple dreams about a plane going to Florida or coming from Florida. I've had so many dreams about planes blowing up in the sky and falling out of the sky. Also, in the dream I had 4 years ago, watch it again. I said there was things flying around in the air and I didn't know what it was. This was 4 years ago. There were no drones flying around in the air at the time. And in the dream, I knew the plane got shot down by a missile. There is more to come. So will you pray against it? To whom much is given, much is required. And when you're given this information, you are required to pray against it, to either stop it or lessen its effects. So there's more that's going to come out about this matter. I didn't finish watching the whole Amanda Grace video, but I will put the link in the description box so you guys can watch the whole link. Because a lot of words that the Lord gives me, He also gives Amanda Grace, and it's always confirmation, including dreams. So go and listen to the entire video because she breaks things down and she has deep revelation with what the Lord shows her. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the description box. Until next time.